Here's the thing that they say internally, and keep in mind, I don't actually work for the publishing company anymore. I'm a Warner Brothers employee. But inside the publishing company, we would always say that magazines are lean back reading and the web is lean forward reading. It's not the same experience.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. When
you triggered something on me. I'm thinking of John Diana stories, and here's one that would even apply to you guys. Probably 1993, 1994, he called the Hot Rod Magazine staff together and he said, you guys need to stop writing about 69 Camaros. They don't make them anymore. We're going to run out of them, and you're going to be outdated. You got to start writing about newer stuff.
What year was that?
Yeah, 93 or 94. Okay. And what are we still building right now? I'm working on a 68 Camaro on my driveway today. Yeah. I know you guys touch them every week.
There's like a new one rolls into the shop every month, it seems like.
It's our highest selling chassis.
Number one chassis.
When did other forms of media, when you're seeing the writing on the wall as far as print go, your TV show, where did those discussions start coming about? Roadkill and any of the stuff where essentially you'd been not behind the scenes. I mean, you had a face out there. Everybody knew who you were, but you were a writer, right? You were a photographer. You were doing those types of things. You weren't, you weren't a personality at that point. So you had to become a personality.
Yeah, I would say I was pretty well known for hardcore magazine guys, but we've been doing Roadkill 13 years. So it was about 14 years ago when I was kicking off hotrod.com. I was the editor that sort of started and grew that. Actually, I would say it started a little bit before me, which would have been 2001. It probably started in 2000, and there was a group that was doing that. But it was my responsibility to grow it. And one of the things the company really wanted to do on the websites was more video. And so Finnegan and I started just recording whatever we were doing. And that became video on the websites, which ended up becoming video on YouTube. And what happened is that at the time, YouTube really wanted to compete with cable TV. So they came to 100 companies and they gave them a bunch of money to create new television style content just for YouTube. And Motor Trend rose to the top on that. They were one of only 10 companies that got that investment the following year. So that's when we became actually the most viewed automotive show on YouTube, although we were right there with Mighty Car Mods out of Australia, who started well before we did and who's still going. But that was the real transition for me from print into video, and it overlapped for a long time. I think that I did Hot Rod Magazine concurrent with Hot Rod Deluxe, concurrent with being an editorial director over a bunch of junk, while also doing Roadkill. And then eventually I stepped away from the print and only did TV.
Was the TV video stuff something you were excited about, or was that something that's kind of forced on you? Did you see the potential future in it, or were you pretty married to the print side?
When we first got onto YouTube, I remember thinking, nobody's going to watch a half-hour TV show on YouTube. This is about 15-second cat videos. So I did not see it coming at all. I was not that guy, and it boomed and took off. But I hung on to the magazines for as long as I could because I love print. I loved doing it. But I will tell you, the major thing that's way better about TV is you show up, you do the stuff, you walk away, someone else edits it, and I don't have to manage anybody. That was the biggest part of doing TV for me.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I mean, we do a ton of it here. I mean, we're doing a ton of YouTube content and video content. It's funny, I look back at it must have been like 2006, 2007. We first started filming. Yeah. Came up with, let's do some YouTube videos. And it was fucking painful, right? Like, I haven't watched them because I'm embarrassed to go back and watch them, but I can imagine it's got to be just painfully bad. Right?
I'm sure Elliot could find some and pipe those in right now.
Sure, yeah, it's coming, right? Yeah. But it's progressed. I mean, it's unbelievable how that progressed and how easy it is now. Because to your point, like now we jump in a car, we do a video, walk out of the car, and it's fucking done. Back to work. Elliot edits it. Comes out really good.
Right. Yeah, the editing part has been. I wanted to know on your side, when you start laying that stuff out, you're planning the episode. Are you approaching that similar to what you would approach, writing an article from an information standpoint and then trying to sprinkle in what you think is going to be entertaining? Or you're just like, this is something I want to do, film it. I'm sure there'll be some funny, dumb shit happen.
The latter. There is virtually no planning on our shows. It was even less planned in the beginning. Now I would say it's sort of outlined. Like, what do we want to do? We want to get this car, fix it, go to this event. And that's about the extent of it. Mike Finnegan and I just wing it. It is typically us sitting around either in the car while we're driving somewhere or having a beer at night, just going, you know what would be cool? And we just go do it. The show has no format.
That's probably why it's successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when we first came out, we were definitely the anti-reality show. There was no fake drama. There was no cliffhangers. There was no, guys with ironic facial hair. It wasn't.
Are you pointing that? Is that a dig at Kindig? That sounds like a dig.
I didn't even think about him. No. I guess it was an accidental one. I just but you know what? Even their show, Bitch and Rides, it's not faked.
No.
Right.
But reality TV had the reputation for being that, and we were the not that. And I think we still are. People accuse us of it all the time. They say, oh, you're scripted, you're fake, that didn't happen. And yeah, it kind of did.
Well, I mean, anybody that's in the know knows that if you're going to buy a Craigslist purchase, in Indiana and drive it back across country, you don't have to manufacture any drama. I guarantee there's going to be some shit that goes wrong, and it'll be funny, and you got to figure it out. And we've been on those road trips. Nothing like the fixes that you guys have done, but we know there's times that things have to be done. And if somebody was there filming when I fixed Jeff Greening's Panhard bar, right? That would have been a great fucking episode, But turns out hose clamps and a 3/8 extension will make a good splint on a just cracked Panhard bar and get you at least to a weld shop.
Dude, if somebody was there,
write that down.
if somebody was there too to see you modify and shave George Poteet's front spoiler off his Camaro, that'd be a good one too.
Yeah.
It's like fuck this.
That was
spoiler.
Garfield's. That was Garfield's.
Okay,
Yeah.
fuck the spoiler.
Yeah, that was I wouldn't consider it a shave. It was just a flat
It was a
blow
fold.
off.
Just an elimination of.
Yeah, the thing was low.